All right.
What do I do?
Ooh.
What do you do? What do you do?
What do I do with my hands?
I mean, you could. I always try to keep my hands at the 10 and 2 position, like right here, and then if I deviate away from that, it's usually eat a cookie. Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 180 of the Planet Destiny podcast. Today we are joined by co-hosts Aura,
Hi.
Nojja Bin Blast,
Howdy.
and yourself, Danfinity, or myself, as it were, not nervous at all.
We're professionals.
We're total professionals. Anyways,
Professionals.
TBL and Nim have some family and some work stuff, so we wish the best to them this post-holiday episode. Guys, Aura and Nojja, how was your holiday?
Fat.
Fat?
My holiday was fat. Like PHAT 90s fat. Like fat, dude.
Fat, dude.
Yeah, you get it. That's good. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Wonderful,
That's
wonderful. Nojja, what about you?
I had some driving. It was a lot of driving.
A lot of driving.
But good food. And I got to see my pops. So
Yeah.
that was good. Yeah.
You guys get any gaming in this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
What all?
Yeah, I mean,
what
I
all?
was here last week, so we have a lot to get caught up on what I've been up to in the world of Destiny, because I've been working my booty off. Wasn't here last week. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Well, go for it, man. What have you been doing the past couple of weeks since we've seen you?
Did I tell everybody I got my Lunas? Did we talk about that?
I believe we haven't talked about it, but we could talk about it.
So I got my Luna's Howl, and it's
Mhm.
a monster. It's an absolute monster. I'm surprising myself when I'm retapping people and seeing like 137 or 132, wherever it is, pop up on the screen. I'm like, holy crap. So that's been really cool. And I farmed every unique sleeper node on Mars, all 40 of them. So before everybody wonders why I did that, there's no actual rhyme or reason. I wanted the emblem. So that's why I did it. So when I tweeted it, everyone was really confused. They're like, why is this dude farming nodes on Mars?
Yeah.
Well, I want to do something that nobody's done, or very few people have done. It's a pain in the ass. Repeat decryptions are a problem.
Yeah.
Getting stems is slow. It was more of a mental commitment than the Regix's broadsword and the Luna's Howl combined. To go back into Mars and to continue to grind these things out took more mental fortitude than anything else I've done this season in regards to Destiny.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
I've been going through and getting all of the ghosts, and like I initially was going after the Wayfarer title, and this past week, so luckily last week the Nightfall was the Braytech Osprey, and was able to get that. I want to say within like 5 runs of it last week. Was able to get it to drop, but the one thing that is holding me back, the one item that is holding me back, is the Niflheim Frost, which is the Braytech Scout Rifle.
The Niflheim Frost? Is that what you called it?
Niflheim. Niflheim.
Okay. Sounds German.
It is. Very much so. Ruggedly Scandinavian. It is the one thing that I'm missing, and I too have been going and going for sleeper nodes just for the schematics for that thing to drop, and each day I log in and am disappointed. Each day.
Oof.
So if you're listening, there's 3 weapons that only come from the Braytech schematics, which you only get from the sleeper nodes.
Right.
The 18 Kelvins, the frost weapon I can't pronounce, and the other weapon I've completely forgotten about. I think there's a sniper rifle, a scout rifle, and a sidearm.
Sidearm?
Yes.
There's an AR as well. There's an AR.
There's an AR as well. So there's 5 then, right? So there's 4 Braytech schematics, and there's the Osprey, which is Nightfall only. And they are only come, despite the description in the collections, which says that they come from reward packages, they only come from unlocking sleeper nodes. So if you're out there banging your face against the wall, turning in material after material after material with Anna Bray, wondering why it's not dropping, it only drops from her once you've unlocked it. In other words, it comes into the loot pool once you've acquired it one time. And it does, there are 2 rolls, I believe, per weapon. I think there's 2 rolls per weapon. So the only way to get it is the sleeper nodes. You have to get 4 resonant stems to convert and decrypt a sleeper node. Then you got to go find it.
Yep.
There are 40 unique sleeper nodes. Actually, to get the emblem, the legendary emblem, you actually need to get 41. On your 40th node, it actually doesn't give you the legendary emblem because I got it, and I stood there like a crazy person trying to figure out what I had to do.
What is going on?
The emblem. You get the 40th one, and it's like, congratulations, you got all 40, but the emblem doesn't drop. You actually have to go and farm a 40 first in order to go get the emblem, which was mind blowing. But yeah,
what's been really tough is that like I keep wanting to burn stems to get that to work, or to get the thing to drop, but usually after you get that schematic, the drop rate for the second schematic is insanely low for that day. So you basically have to wait for the daily reset to come again to get that initial drop, the schematic.
I've heard that. The reason why we're talking about this, it goes to Wayfarer title. If you guys don't know, the season ends the 27th. Some things may reset and some new content's coming on December 4th, which is why a lot of people are rushing to finish these titles. And the Wayfarer is one of the ones people are going for. And in order to get Wayfarer, you need to get all of Anabray's Braytech weapons. That's why you've seen a lot of people on Mars. Also, the rush for
all the Mercury weapons
protocol, as it's all 3 weapons dropping this week up until Tuesday, which might be over by the time you read this or hear this. So there's been a lot of activity on Mars this week. I had really nothing else to do. I got all of the Braytech weapons in one day. I got all 4.
Really?
I was so far behind on PC. I took a Sunday off a stream, grinded the hell out of Mars, and before I knew it, I had all the. I wasn't even going for them. I was going for nodes, going for the sleeper, getting all the latent memories for the World Line 0, and before I knew it, I had all of this. I lucked out. There was nothing else. By the time I was going for the for Wayfarer, I need the escalation protocol armor for Wayfarer because I never opened the chest. I never gave a crap about it, so I never opened the chest to get the armor. Now I'm paying for that.
Yeah, that's a bit of a grind. I just now got it myself. Nojja, what have you been up to this past couple of weeks since we last saw you, good sir? You've been doing some good stuff around the Destiny community.
Yeah, so I linked up with a couple of buddies that I've known for a while that I used to run trials with a lot. And these guys are like some really, really high tier, like sweaty players. Yeah. And they decided, I got pulled into this, but they decided that they were going to start helping people who were close to Not Forgotten to give them a team that they could play with. We just pull people in from chat that are very close, and we just grind out the rest of their points. So I saw that they were doing this, and I was like, that looks pretty satisfying. That looks like a fun venture. And it keeps me very practiced. So, and I just Joverated and Rhythm are like 2 of my best buds because the guys are like super, super cool. It's like a really, really nice, like positive environment the whole time, which is surprising because high level comp can be very stressful, but we make a very deliberate effort to not only like give people a team, because us 3, myself, Joverated and Rhythm, we've played a lot. So we're very like familiar and comfortable with like the way that each other plays. So the chemistry is there for us 3. So we basically just bring in one person, and we know they're dedicated players because they're close anyways. So they've been grinding comp. They know how it plays, and they're willing to win. So we just ask that they bring a positive attitude and just focus up. And they have reached 40 as of today, 40 Not Forgottens that they've helped people finish out.
Amazing.
I have been there for like 9 or 10, I think. And it is an incredibly like, it can be so like stressful, but the immense feeling of like finishing that for somebody and like hearing the gratitude that comes from people and like seeing them light up, or just hearing them light up rather, I guess. Yeah. But it's really cool because it is a trophy weapon, and it's a long journey. It's like tough for a lot of people because their friends that they play with, you know, like people get it and then they stop playing comp, and then that leaves maybe like 1 or 2 people, which that's normal. Like that's probably what most people would. I mean, that's like a sane thing to do, right? You get the very last reward. Like, why would you keep playing? Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. There are streamers and other content creators out there that do that like full time. Pure Chill being one of them. I mean, he streams endless comp, and it's just to keep in that headspace of like being You're just practicing constantly. That's all it is, against like the toughest teams that you can play. So that's what I've been up to.
Is that on PlayStation 4?
Yeah, PS4. Sorry, Xbox and PC.
Well, I PC me, and I'm like, I got my Lunas, and thankful to my teammates, more thankful to the people that I defeated along the way. So to those of you who died by me in comp, thank you.
You're the real MVPs.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, I literally, like my teammates, I needed their help, but I literally could not get that weapon without the people that I defeated and beat and eliminated in the competitive environment. So if you're out there and you lost to me, GG and thank you.
You got to get those 100 headshots from somebody, and it can't be your teammates.
That's true.
So
I was thinking about making a play for Not Forgotten. I'm thinking maybe with season 5, I'll get the guys in Last Rites together and see if we can't make a push on PC. It's once you get to around like 3,800 to like 4,000 is probably where I would feel like I'm going to start to hit a wall as a solo player. 2,100, I got there a lot faster thanks to my teammates, but I could play with the people I was matching. Like I wasn't getting outskilled, out thought out anything. At that point, it would have taken me longer because of whoever would have been on my team, or maybe I just had a bad game or a few games in a row. But I wasn't really. I guess I was my own worst enemy at that point. But I feel like I've seen some people getting up in the higher tiers, and it gets really some of these players, man. Like I feel like they're elite level, like fighting game players, where you see individual frame, like the game, like it's like elite athletes. Like the game slows down for them, even at the highest speed. I'm not there. So I would need some help, courtesy of people like Nojja, Overrated, and Rhythm. Shout out to those guys.
On average, so say I were to go for Lunas as a person who is below average at PvP, like what's the time sink? What's the time investment that you guys would say is average for someone in that average to low skill level?
I feel like I'm seeing some people been working at it all season, getting it like this week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, depending on solo queue, depending on LFG, it really makes it difficult to get as a solo queue player.
Yeah,
because there's such a mixed bag, especially with the game being free on PC anyway. I can't speak to console, but there's people who are like level 10, level 20, getting thrown in against people who are 4,000. And like if you're on that team, it doesn't matter who you are. You really can't do it yourself. Even Pure Chill might struggle with people who've never played the game before as teammates. You know what I mean? So, there's some people who've been grinding the entire season and got it this week. Honestly, it could be an entire season long endeavor. I want to say maybe a week's worth of gameplay for a guy who works full time.
Yeah.
Like a few hours a day in comp. It also depends literally on how accurate your shot is when you have to get headshots.
It's true. Yeah.
And what weapon you're using. I use the Trust with explosive rounds, and explosive rounds will rob you of precision kills because the explosive round won't count for the kill, not the round. So I use the only 2 trusts I have are explosive round trusts. I can't hit my shot with basically any other energy hand cannon. I'm going to take the opportunity at least hitting my shot and having a chance at a crit versus using a weapon that I'm going to miss. I'd rather hit my shot and get the kill and roll the dice at it being a precision shot than not be able to hit it. And I used the Ace of Spades towards the end, which took me a little while to get used to the way that thing kicks. It's a little bit different on controller on PC and on I'm sure on console as well to how it acts on mouse and keyboard for PC players. I mean, if it's a pinnacle weapon, I'm going to use that term loosely because Not Forgotten is the pinnacle weapon, but I don't think it's outside of anybody's skill set to attain a Lunas. I really don't. I don't think it's something that nobody has the is capable of getting personally.
I asked this question because we got a lot of news coming with the TWAB this week about some pinnacle weapons that are going to be added into the loot pool starting next season, the season of the Forge, which opens on the 27th of November. But officially with the drop of Black Armory in December on December 4th. So we saw some pinnacle weapons popping up, notably not just for PvP but also for PvE.
Good, very good.
And
finally,
in the TWAB, it's It reads, Pinnacle Weaponry. Season of the Forge is kicking off next week. With it comes a new Pinnacle Weapon to earn in the Crucible. We received a lot of feedback that you also want a Pinnacle Weapon to work toward when pitted against the environment. Good news! We have 2 for you. Vanguard Strike Missions and Gambit are being added to the list of worthy pursuits with coveted trophies to be claimed. They won't take as much of your time commitment as the Crucible reward does, but they will require some dedication to your activities. We asked Sandbox designer Victor Anderson to give you the full rundown on all 3 Pinnacle Weapons for Season 5. When it comes to the Vanguard, you're going to be getting the Loaded Question. It's a high-impact fusion rifle, which is ARC. Loaded Question's unique perk is Reservoir Burst. When the battery is full, your next burst deals additional damage and causes enemies to explode on death.
Perhaps a mini 1K Voices kind of vibe to it, kind of thing.
It seems interesting. I haven't really been playing with fusion rifles all that much this season outside of some linear fusions. What I know, Aura, you generally are a friend of the Voopster. What do you do? What are your thoughts on this weapon?
I need to see more. I didn't read the specs on it. Fusion rifles come down to a couple things for me. Stability, which is how tight the bolts are when they come out of the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
The higher stability, the more tighter that burst pattern is going to be. It even might affect it more so than range, honestly. A high stability, low range one will probably still outrange a high range, low stability fusion rifle just because of the amount of how tight the bolts are and how much they connect. Charge rate's the biggest thing for me. I have a hard time juggling charge rates on fusion rifles. The Merciless, to me, feels the best out of all of them throughout Crucible, throughout PvE. In terms of a true fusion rifle, there's a lot of people out there going for the Arentil. I forget how to pronounce it. A lot of people looking for the rental. I don't know. A lot of people looking for god roll versions of that gun. Very strong. When I play against it, it's a very strong gun. I can't use it to save my life personally, but the Vanguard one is curious. Probably the first Pinnacle weapon that I go for. I kind of want to know more about it. But when I log in on the 27th, well, the 27th is Curse Week, so there's that. But we'll see. Fusion rifles are different in D2 than they were in D1. Of course, vanilla Destiny 2, they were easy button. Like if you landed one bolt, it killed people with the main ingredient running the roost. But
right.
We'll see. I don't know that this is gonna come in and become a Crucible favorite weapon. This might be a meme gun for PvE. A couple of YouTube highlights to see how many ads you can clear out with the explosion, if the explosion is indeed powerful. We'll talk a bit more about the other Pinnacle weapons, but it seems that some of these Pinnacle weapons are getting what could be considered exotic perks on legendary weapons. So I just want to see if the fusion rifle meets that criteria, whereas the other two might have that.
I hope it's good for PvP.
There's really not that many outside of the Queenbreaker's bow and linear fusions in general, which have a massively generous hitbox.
Yeah.
I don't really get killed by many for the amount of Crucible I play, even in quick play.
So this will come into play a little later. I think this has to do with my opinion on Pinnacle weapons in general, or just the state of the sandbox. But like the sandbox team has expressed they want to try to stay away from nerfs,
right?
Which is a good thing for the community because we should have a variety of powerful things to pick from, and it should depend on what you like to use, what speaks to you as a player. You should not be put at a disadvantage for wanting to main fusion rifles. The only thing that should be asked of the player that wants to main a fusion is, can you learn how to properly use the weapon in various combat spaces? So I think it's important that we have more options available to people who prefer different things. Because then, I mean, playstyles form from that more easily, right? If somebody asks me right now, like, hey, what's the strongest special weapon? What should I be using in the Crucible? Unfortunately, my recommendation is going to be find a good shotgun.
Right.
Use a shotgun. I wish I could say, I don't know, dude, what do you like to use? Like, what's your like? Do you like snipers? Do you like shotties? Do you like fusions? Like, what is it? So I hope that this fusion rifle actually has a legitimate place in PvP because I think it is important for the sandbox health overall and the variety of the game and keeping players across the spectrum happier if they know that there is something out there, even if it's just one weapon, which is not Telesto,
Right.
but even one weapon in that category that they can go, I don't feel like I'm at a disadvantage with this because I practice with it and I'm pretty good with it. That should be like, that's like the most important thing to me. If you like shotguns and you're good at it and your movement is really solid with a shotgun and you just want to continue to main it, by all means, like there should be nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people are frustrated with shotguns right now because they're very dominant. They're everywhere, but I think that's a product.
Strong.
It's a product of our other special weapons not being enticing enough. They're not.
Snipers are not enticing enough. Flinch is ridiculous. The thing about fusion rifles is they'll counter shotties very, very, very well. As long as you don't try to use it like it's a shotgun.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a combat space. So that's what I'm talking about, is like you have learned how to use a fusion rifle properly. So your experience with a fusion rifle is generally positive, and you don't need to worry about getting shotgun aped because you're outside of that 7 to 9 meter range where that one hit kill happens a lot. So I think the problem right now, at least before, I don't know what's coming in the sandbox. They could add tons of fusion rifles, but it's very difficult to find a legendary fusion rifle, at least, that is very well rolled. And I feel like you need something closer to a god roll on a fusion rifle rather than just getting a mediocre shotgun that is, it's like average rolled. But if it has like maybe 1 or 2 perks, like full choke, if you have full choke on a shotgun with like slide shot, even if you just have those 2 perks, you can make do with that pretty well, and you can push people, and as long as you know how to close the gap properly, you're probably fine. I just got a god roll sniper like 2 days ago. It's a Fate Cries foul, and it's perfectly rolled, literally everything I could want on it, but I feel like I am at such a disadvantage when I put that thing on. And I feel like sniper rifles right now, even getting a god roll, if you got a god roll weapon of any other type, we could even like keep it contained to just special weapons. That's going to be pretty game changing. If you get a god roll shotgun, that's perfect. It's going to be super consistent, and you're going to pick up kills with that thing pretty regularly. If you get a god roll fusion rifle, I've seen a couple people absolutely snipe me with an Arantil. It's possible you can use them, and you can use them very well. But if you get a god roll sniper rifle, it doesn't really feel like it does anything for you. So it's disappointing for that reason, because I was incredibly excited. I was like, I just got the perfect sniper that I've been trying to get since the launch of Forsaken. But I got to wait till snipers get buffed to use it, because if I use it right now, it's not going to do much for me. So I think we need more options. We really do.
I had a sniper rifle drop with what I would consider a god roll. It was the one that it was the one from the Dreaming City. I can't remember the name of it. But it dropped
Twilight Oath.
I can't I can't remember I can't remember all the rolls on it. But I was really excited to start using it, and I start using it against a boss, and it felt like a scout rifle. It was just like pinking.
It's not a high impact sniper. It's got 6 or 7 rounds in it, maybe even more than that. It's a low impact sniper, but it's snappy. I love mine. I love mine. When I solo Shattered Throne at the boss, I run dual sniper and hand cannon. That's one of the snipers I run. It's such a fun gun to use. So I thought it was really cool. I like it. I snipe because it's fun. I don't snipe because it's good. I use the Supremacy and the Luna's Howl and Crucible and 6s because it's fun, not because I think I'm going to dominate, or because I mean my rolls on the Supremacy are trash.
Right.
But it's just fun.
My only good snipers are energy, so I can't run.
The one you're talking about is the Crucible one.
Yeah,
right.
Crucible,
I have like 20 of those. I've never even looked at them. It has that silenced shot, right? It sounds like it has a silencer on it when you fire it, so it's a quiet sniper rifle.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool though. I got snapshot, moving target, range masterwork, and AP rounds, and then I threw a targeting adjuster on there. So it's all PvP, ready to go.
All the aim assist I can possibly get. Target adjusting goes on like everything if I can get that damn mod to drop. I still can't like purchase mods. Like I still don't have enough mod components.
The mod economy needs to change for sure.
Do you guys feel like the enhancement core economy is in a pretty good spot now?
I've gotten more. Again, I'm going to talk about this a lot because I have unfinished business in the Shattered Throne room. but I masterworked 2 different sets of armor for that
Mhm.
specific run. I've got a solar masterwork set of armor for Vorgith, and I've got an arc masterwork set of armor for the final boss, whose name I can never remember. Dylan Karu or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you finish your solo run, Dan? Did you beat it?
I have not been able to finish it personally. I've been trying to oh, that is not right. I have been trying to get a weapon for it. I'm going to be trying it with a with Thunderlord here. In the
I'm not changing my loadout. The loadout that I left the boss 1 bullet on last time, 2 weeks ago or whatever, 3 weeks ago, I'm going right back in with the same exact loadout.
I'm definitely going to be I'm going to try to do a I'm going to try to get the sorry, having some difficulties here. All right, we should be good. Anyways.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Episode 179.
Jeez Louise. Okay. Well, so back to what we were talking. I'm going to start using Thunderlord, I think, for the Vorgith fight, just because the bolts I need help with, and I'm a shit sniper with them. With the
Whisper.
Whisper. I'm shit with Whisper, but Thunderlord, like, I feel like if I can proc, if those count as individuals, that'll cast lightning down, wipe out that the rest of the nodes,
other
and then
3 or whatever.
Yeah, and then start working on Vorgith a little bit faster than usually I would be. So
Did you clear Vorgith last time around?
no, I still haven't cleared Vorgith. It's upsetting to me.
I cleared Vorgith. I didn't get him done. I spent 6 hours in there the first day I went solo.
Yeah,
I didn't kill him. I came back the very next day, and my first run, Whisper didn't give me the white nail perk
yeah,
with one of the crits, so I got killed by the Axion Blast because I didn't get a refill on my mag. It was unlucky.
yeah.
Came right back the second time through and housed it. And I'm at a point now where I know exactly what to do.
Mhm.
I'm still have the game plan in my head on how to run the encounter. I have no issues with Vorgith whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's
It's
the final boss that I had only been in that room twice ever before I went solo. So trying to learn the movements and the ad spawns and control the ads was my biggest downfall. What worked for everybody else did not work for me.
right.
I ran Arc Strider in the final boss room to control all the ads. I used my super to kill all the scions, and then
Mhm.
that gave me the ability to use my Twilight Oath to take down the crystal, and my Whisper to take out the knights. And I got to damage phase every single time thereafter. I just made the mistake of listening to some people who said that it took X amount of shots to kill him.
Yeah.
And I fired those X amount of shots and stopped firing, and
Nothing.
he was still alive. And
Yeah.
that amount of time where I stopped firing, that 1 second, was enough for him to kill me. Essentially, I ran out of time.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what's going to happen this time.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, I gave up on that. I got to, I will play comp all day, but for some reason, I tried it once. I was trying to do a flawless solo run, and I got to Vorgith, and I died, and I was like, nah, I'm good. There are people who will persist through this, and this is not for me, and I think that's okay. So,
I think I could do it solo flawless. I really do think I can. I could pull it off. If I need to know a little bit more about weapons and ammo economy and supers running through, because I use 2 different subclasses. I'll swap weapons out. I don't want to run the beginning maze with 2 snipers and a hand cannon. Like, I just don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
So I have to figure out how to juggle those things.
Yeah.
I only died a handful of times. I died by the shield blast from the phalanxes.
Yeah.
Killed me once, and then so I really do think I could pull that off.
That opening phase is not that hard. Like, it
just takes a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go.
You just pace yourself.
Yeah.
You just pace yourself, and you're fine. But it's a little bit of a time investment.
I have memorized that first room. It is burnt into the back of my mind. But like, I don't know. If a weapon like this, so going back to loaded question, if a weapon like this can be paired with something like Thunderlord or Whisper of the Worm, I'm 100% for it, because like it seems, even with Reservoir Burst, with getting these like mini exotic, like lesser exotic perks for this stuff, anything that puts you in a head, it just works out, you know.
I would change up my loadout if I was gonna go like solo flawless. I know I can beat it with what I ran, and that makes me want to go back in with what I ran just to prove that I can do it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like I know I can do this with 2 snipers and a hand cannon, so why try changing things up at this point? I think for Vorgith, I was using the inaugural address, the supremacy, and the whisper. What I was doing then.
I was using a bygones, and I was using my it wasn't an arsenic bike, it was subtle calamity with dragonfly and archer's tempo, and I'm going to be using thunderlord next. I'm going to try it and see how far I get, but each of those things I'm trying to perk out for like Dreaming City mods and mods from the raid. I had a couple drop that allowed me to, like, if I bust a shield on a Taken, it will ramp up my grenade rejuvenation. I have a couple weapon perks now that kill Taken a little bit faster, so I'm gonna be working on those a bit. Heading back to the loaded question, though, the fusion rifle from the Pinnacle activity. You will pick up the quest from Zavala. You'll complete all the following objectives. You can earn progress toward these goals at the same time. 500 fusion rifle kills in any strike or Nightfall, 1,000 arc kills in any strike or Nightfall, and 40 strike or Nightfall completions. And then you'll head back to Zavala to receive a fully masterworked loaded question. I feel like the requirements are like a good amount for a PvE weapon.
That's definitely very doable day one, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you would just deliberately need to, like, wake up, get on and reset.
Yeah.
And just go. But you can definitely knock that out in a day. There will be people that have that in day one. It's not too bad.
Heck yeah.
It doesn't require any ranks or resets, and I think that's a lot of the I don't think there is any rank for Vanguard, right? You just turn in.
There's the rank for Nightfall.
Yeah,
the Nightfall completions.
But it's like a weird math, right? It's like an average of your score, but it's never more than. It's a weird system.
As far as I understand, like if you get 100,000 on 14 different Nightfalls,
it's 14 then.
You'll be ranked 14 and it'll be fine. But like if you could do 7 Nightfalls with 200,000, and you'd be at the same.
Have the same bit,
which I still have not done. So
same.
I can't. I'm like ranked 9. I can't do it.
I think I hit rank 12 this week, and I was like, I'm just not gonna have enough time before it resets.
Yeah.
For me to get back in there, and I already have the Toil and Trouble, not that role, but I have one for collection, so it's not like it's not like something I'm like really. We don't even know what that's gonna be. The thing about the Luna's Howl being the quest for Pinnacle Weapon is like I don't think we knew about the Not Forgotten until we got a Luna's Howl and saw that the quest continued.
Right.
So for all we know, we're gonna get this loaded question, and maybe Zavala has some badass thing for rank 14 Nightfalls for season 5. Maybe that's the Not Forgotten of the Vanguard. You know what I mean?
That'd be super cool.
That would be super cool.
And I like when they hide stuff.
Yes.
And then 100%. We find it and we're like, whoa, dude, like what is this? I want some more of that, because Not Forgotten was definitely like the moment I saw that on Twitter, and Kevin Yanez like retweeted whoever got it first. I think it was 1 second kill, might have been. He retweeted it, and everybody was just like, "No way! Like, this is crazy!" Like and then that drive to like go after that is just amplified like by 10. So having that
around the corner,
having that in like strikes would be super cool, because I mean you're just bolstering the population of a playlist. Like at that point, there's just more people doing it, and they're more invested in the gameplay, and they want to go back and keep doing it. So I think it's pretty easy at this point. Bungie, as far as I understand, is probably pretty aware that if you put cool things for people to chase after, they're gonna do it. Absolutely. It's as simple as that, and it motivates players because they want cool stuff. Absolutely. I think the fusion rifle, I have hopes for it though, because like they've done a really good job with Pinnacle Weapons thus far. Like we've had Redrix, which was very strong. Still is. Still very strong
Mhm.
pulse rifle. Thing's insane. And then Luna and Not Forgotten are both insane Pinnacle rewards as well in terms of power level. So this fusion rifle, I think it's going to be pretty nasty
Yeah.
because I think that the team is willing to put like things that are very strong in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be cool.
Allowing things to kind of peak out a little bit.
Yeah.
Gambit will be getting Breakneck, a precision autokinetic. Breakneck's unique perk is Onslaught. The weapon's rate of fire increases as you stack Rampage. That sounds insane.
It's gonna be Doctor's Passing on steroids. I don't think people understand exactly what this thing's gonna do.
Right.
If you actually get it to proc Rampage ×3 on this weapon, it's gonna be insta melt. It's gonna
even
be
if it
waves of enemies, like
yeah, even if it's only like a max of 600 RPM, the time to kill on that, and
I think the math went to 0.4 is what the math worked itself out to on preliminary number crunching.
Yikes.
But here's the thing. I don't know how many rounds you get. I don't know how easy it's going to be for you to get Rampage ×3.
Yeah.
What if they sneak triple tap onto it?
Yes, but that was my thing. Like, are they going to make a tweak to this thing in PvP? Because your chances of the only way you get Rampage is if you get a kill, right?
Yes.
So if you get the opportunity, the chances of you getting 3 kills out of a clip on an AR in Crucible and still having anything left in reserve for the next person, you're not going to be able to maximize the benefit of that weapon.
Right.
I don't think. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. But this in PvE is going to be a monster. But I want to see Onslaught in the Crucible setting. Yeah, I want to see Doctrine of Passing make a comeback. Auto rifles are so not used at all. Ever.
Yeah.
Like, I got killed by a misfit today, and I was like,
excuse me?
Where am I? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that this kind of brings, nothing's going to break the meta, but brings something else into the foray where we can, that isn't Prometheus Lens for a weekend where we're playing laser tag. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I've been having I've been in a really tough spot with Ayres myself. I got a Tiger Spite from the raid last week. That was the curated role. And I can't bring myself to use it against anything else or above anything else in my catalog of weapons that I have. The bygones that I got from the Drifter is still the bygones that I'm using today. And it just, because it feels a little bit snappier. I don't know if it's like ARs just kind of feel, I guess, like
clunky.
Yeah, that's how they feel to me. And so
they've had an interesting lifetime, haven't they? Since D1.
Yeah.
They've always, auto rifles have just been this crazy like up and down. They're either the best thing that you could possibly use, or they're just kind of meh and don't get touched.
You had Suros, right? Suros and Vanilla Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Suros regime run the roost. Then it
shredded
went
everything
by the wayside until the Doctrine of Passing as a Trials of Osiris reward, which was incredibly fast time to kill. And that kind of, was that it? Was that really it until...
Yeah, and then
until now,
D2 came out and everybody found out Uriel's Gift was insane.
Uriel's Gift, yep, Uriel's Gift was the
that collection of 450 RPM auto rifles.
Yeah,
and then now they just don't get used again.
For PvE, you saw a lot of the PvE legends in year 1 of Destiny 2 were using an AR.
Yeah.
Valakadin.
Valakadin?
Yeah, Valakadin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of the ones for PvE sides of things. But this, I don't know, man. The breakneck seems. It's gonna make me play Gambit. That's saying something.
Yeah. With it, especially with it being in the kinetic slot, that'll. I kind of want to see where that fits in how fast it breaks shields. In Gambit, that'll be the thing that I look for.
If Onslaught is perked, it'll probably melt just about anything. I mean,
anything that you put in front of it.
Yeah. I wonder if it's gonna have a clip size like that Titan exotic in the beta. Oh god, what's it called? The chain gun.
Oh god.
Sweet business.
Sweet business. I almost wonder if it's gonna have a clip like that. You know.
Imagine. Oof.
Oh my god.
Clip's bigger than the gun.
Armor piercing rounds, triple tap, onslaught, rampage. They
didn't
could
tell
go
us any
above
of
and
the
beyond
perks,
that.
right? They only told us the unique perk. So what if
Yeah,
it
they
does?
only specified unique perks, but that would be crazy to have AP rounds plus triple tap. That'd be. Oof.
Yeah.
So what do we got to do to get it?
You have to get complete the following objectives. You earn progress toward these goals at the same time: 500 auto rifle kills, 100 auto rifle multi kills, 150 challenging enemies defeated, and 40 gambit matches completed.
I'm bringing my sweet business into Gambit. I'm putting my Titan barrier up. I'm putting my rally barricade up with the sweet business, and I'm just hosing an entire side.
Easy wins.
We've done in 3 matches.
And yeah, you only have to complete 40 matches of Gambit. It's not like I haven't tried to do that this weekend at all, with it being triple infamy.
Well, that leaves one pinnacle weapon left, boys.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think this is the one. I think this is the one Nojja is the most excited for. The Mountaintop lightweight grenade launcher in the kinetic slot. The Mountaintop's unique perk is micro missile. This weapon fires in a straight line and has a massively increased projectile speed. In addition to the above benefits, the projectile instantly detonates on the environment instead of bouncing like a traditional grenade launcher, unless you have sticky grenades selected. So, how is this going to break the game?
Well, first of all, my first point is that the most popular shotgun right now is Dust Rock Blues by a pretty sizable margin, which you cannot equip if you are running the Mountaintop. So you won't be seeing as much of that if people switch over to that.
It's a kinetic weapon, right?
It is a kinetic, lightweight, breech loading grenade launcher, which means it is single fire. You load 1 grenade in at a time. It is tied to the special ammo economy. It is not a primary. So just getting that out of the way. Because I saw some people that were just like, oh, sick, a primary grenade launcher that everybody's just going to spam. And it's like, yes, but no. Like, you get 2 shots when you spawn in. So, but it sounds powerful. Again, this goes back to, like, the variety point. Is that I think we have an issue of the traditional special weapons versus the new generation of special weapons that are in D2. We all grew up, per se, on shotgun, snipers, and fusions. And I feel like that became like a staple of Destiny's sandbox as a whole, because that's all we ever knew. So when Bungie introduced a new type of special weapon, it's difficult for people to be like accepting of it in the, especially like the sweaty like tier of PvP players. They don't want to accept it as a special weapon that is not frowned upon. That's what is happening right now, is like grenade launchers in general at the highest level of PvP, and maybe even doesn't even need to be the highest level of PvP. People are frowning upon them because they're not a traditional special weapon. And I know they're powerful. In the right hands, they can be like downright obnoxious. And then you could make the point of, well, if I'm in comp and the entire enemy team is running 4 grenade launchers, that's going to be incredibly frustrating. But I would say that if a entire team is running anything 4-stacked, Telesto, Graviton, Lance, Antiope, it has very historically been like incredibly frustrating to go up against a team that's using everything the same. It's variety to me. I know there's a lot of people that say they want a sniper or even a shotgun would have been better. But the thing about snipers is that, and maybe they are getting, I don't know if they're tuning them, but they need a tuning and a serious buff before I would even want a Pinnacle sniper. Because if they gave us a sniper rifle for a Pinnacle weapon and they don't buff them, then it's like, it's going to be the strangest Pinnacle weapon we ever get, because everybody's going to like want it so bad. But if it doesn't perform very well, then what was the point? Because you're just not going to see any uptime on it.
Right.
Grenade launchers they're in a weird spot, because like they either don't do enough damage and then nobody touches them, or they do a little too much and then everybody's just going to. So I guess it depends on the size of the blast radius. How precise do you need to be with the little mini missile? If it's only consistently killing people 1 hit, if you're landing a direct hit, there will be, whether people prefer this skill gap or not, there will be a skill gap to using it. and your preference will decide whether or not you think it has a place in the sandbox. But I welcome change, because if somebody's using that instead of aping me with a shotgun, then I'm not getting aped by a shotgun, and that also makes me have to learn how to counter something.
Yeah, some sense of balance to the force.
So I'm not entirely upset about it. I would have liked to see another legend reward, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
It's going to alter people's loadout. I think a lot of people aren't understanding that. Like Nojja said, you're going to have to run some kind of complementary actual primary weapon with this. You're not, because it takes special weapon ammunition, you're not able to run a shotgun with it. You may see some people kind of doing like the old school No Land Beyond sidearm. You might see a sidearm being run with it for splash damage and an easy finish, but then you're bringing another weapon into the fray that nobody friggin' touches. I have literally not been killed by a sidearm in Crucible in this season. Like, not even seen one in Crucible in this entire season.
I tried to use one.
Many SMGs. So you might see a couple different loadouts that's going to force people to be a little bit more creative. This weapon fires in a straight line. I don't think people understand that.
Yeah.
It fires in a straight line. It's a grenade launcher that fires in a straight line.
Point and
direct hits and a straight line is harder than something that you bank with incredible splash damage. The Fighting Lion, for instance, it's kind of really only goes if you get a direct hit or if you get that splash damage. This, I'm hoping if it's a straight line precision mini rocket launcher, which is what it sounds like, that it really heavily relies on precision to use. And those who are going to be really good with it are going to be really hard to stop. And those who are going to be really bad with it, they're going to put it in the vault immediately.
Yeah.
My personal distaste for grenade launchers aside, how I don't think they should even be in the game, I don't think it's going to be as impactful as a lot of people think. The thing about it that's going to suck is how you earn it. People earning it is going to be the freaking ridiculous part of this.
Well,
yes and no.
But they're also changing it. So here in the Destiny Roundup, it was stated that by DMG that the division system in Gambit will be added to the Crucible later on this season, or this next season.
I hate that. Yeah, really? I hate it. I really do. Why? Why do I have Fabled 2 and 3?
Yeah.
It's still going to be the same distance between.
Right. So why even put? Oh, it makes me feel better that I'm ranking up.
Get you more
I honestly,
rewards.
like, speaking from personal experience, it is the worst thing. It's all psychological, by the way, because it's. I mean, if they put rewards in between, that's great.
But it's not powerful rewards. It's just a drop, right?
Yeah, it's probably just be a drop, but it gives you a little like horizontal progression, I think is the term for it. Because your ultimate goal is like, okay, I want to go from 2100 to 3500 and then 35 to 55, or what is it, 40? I think it's 5450 is when you hit legend, and then there's like a 50-point buffer after that. And max is 55. The thing is that like it literally doesn't change your time investment at all. You're still going to be spending the same amount of time getting from rank to rank, but you're going to have these smaller milestones along the way, which look a little more accessible. Like when people in season 3 would ever ask me like, hey, should I go for Redrix? Like, how should I do that? I always told them, take it in chunks, like go 700 points a day if you can, because 700 over 3 days is 2100. Now your task is complete. So sometimes if you have this like really daunting, time consuming task, you just break it up into chunks, then you make a little bit of progression over time, and it feels more, it's all psychological. Like I said, you're spending the same amount of time doing the activity. So it's not changing anything in that regard, but I think it just makes people see something that's a little more attainable, because the gap between 21 and 35 is huge. And then when you hit 35, getting to legend, that bar goes so slow, even on like a 5-win streak. So it just looks like you're barely making progress. So I'm okay with it, because like even if they give us like legendary drops between like mythic 1, 2, and 3, that's just more chances for like a god roll better devils, or maybe a sniper that you want, or
you're pulling the slot machine.
Yeah, so just additional rewards that give you a little sideways progression is not a bad thing for me. I don't know.
Call it something else then. The fact that you're calling it Mythic 1, 2, and 3 drives me crazy. Like, why are the 3 subdivisions? Like, you make very, very valid points, and I understand it completely. It's more annoying to me than anything else. Like, if I see a rank up, I want to see a rank up. I don't want to see a different version of the same exact one. To me, that
they need to make the big rank ups, like when you hit 35 or 55, like those should be like incredibly flashy, and you should get like some substantial reward, like enhancement cores at every rank up. I don't know, something like
mod components. Forget enhancement cores. Give me damn mod components, man.
We need more mod components. We actually really do. So that's a good point.
Oh, please mod components. Please mod components written from the sky. That's next season.
Yeah, I like what they've. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the steps for the Mountaintop. Reach glory rank Brave within a season. Brave is like the first glory rank, right?
It doesn't tell you which one though, right?
It should be ranked
Brave is just Brave, not Brave 7 or whatever fucking version. Each objective earns you progress per action in any playlist. By the way, in any playlist.
Yeah.
In Crucible, earn grenade launcher final blows. It says 750 points. Kills are worth 3 points in non-competitive playlists. Comp playlist kills are worth 10 points. I'm assuming because you're going to have less opportunities, in theory, for kills in comp than you will in Crucible. I think there's just less carnage over the course of the game with less players. Rapidly defeat groups of 2 or more opponents. Does it say with grenade launchers, or is it just double kills?
I think it's with kills. Grenade launchers. 90% positive specified.
It can't be. It says,
but that's tough.
I don't know.
Yeah,
so maybe not, because that's kind of hard.
Double plays worth 2 points. Subsequent kills after a double kill are worth 1 point. In comp, double plays worth 5. Subsequent kills are worth 2. Again, to mitigate the fact that there's not as much carnage in a comp match.
Right.
I'm trying to see if it says you need a grenade launcher to do it.
It may not have.
It doesn't say that earlier, but there's another line here after you get done with the rapidly defeat groups of 2 or more opponents, where it says earn calculated trajectory medals.
That's a grenade launcher specific medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd be like getting double kills for your Regix's broadsword, but then at the later step being like get whatever the thing is for getting 3 straight kills with a pulse rifle perk. It could be just a different step.
Yeah.
100 points total. Non-competitive playlist. Trajectory medals worth 1 point. Competitive are worth 4. And then reach glory rank fabled within a season. So 2100, right?
Right. Yep.
I don't think that these pinnacle weapons are going to be the last of what we see out of the. I just don't.
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling there's a sniper rifle, some form of a. There's whether it's a different class of the same gun, whether there's a different auto rifle, a different fusion rifle, or a different grenade launcher, I can't tell you. But I can't imagine that these 3 weapons in the entirety of Black Armor are gonna be the only pinnacle weapons we're gonna get.
Right. But that also seems to fit in with the dynamic that they've been going for this past season, right? Where like the pinnacle weapon, like you have hand cannon. It's like an evolution. Some would say like a Pokemon of sorts. A Squirtle can't turn into a Charmander,
right?
But a Magikarp can turn into a Gyarados, which
it's going the other way.
Yeah.
the Mountaintop is Gyarados, and at the end you're gonna get a whatever that damn goldfish is called, grenade launcher. It shoots pillows and hugs or some nonsense.
Just flops around on the ground.
We'll see.
Oh man.
But
we'll see.
So we got a lot of feedback from players that they didn't like splitting their progress toward the Crucible Pinnacle quest. So all these objectives use account-wide constructs so players can complete these objectives on any character.
Thank you.
So what? I can be on my Titan and work towards it the same way as if I was on my Hunter. That's really what it breaks down to.
Yep. 100%.
It's not locked to a specific character. I think it's a good thing.
The story was that same way.
If only.
That's a positive for me though. I started my quest on a Hunter and didn't want to finish it on a Hunter.
Yeah.
Not forgotten at least, so I just like. But it sucked because
powerful.
No, I am.
Hunters don't have Nova Warp, so like if you're at comp,
I main Stormcaller. I actually main Stormcaller.
I was gonna say at that level, most Nova Warps get shut down or avoided or drugged to an area where they'll only get 1 kill. Most players at that level play pretty heady when it comes to playing against.
Yeah,
Only if anything, Nova Bomb might even be something you'd see more at a higher level of comp.
I switched off of Nova Warp for that reason, actually.
Yeah,
because people are becoming more. It's still very strong, but people are becoming better and better at playing against it, and they know it's coming. So people are set up for it. So I switched to Stormcaller. I've been playing basically nothing but that in comp because it's like good for when hunters are jumping around everywhere because that's all you play. All you play is hunters. But I don't think there's ever been a Titan or a Warlock besides me.
Solar your Blade Barrages.
I might be the only Warlock in comp. It's possible.
You might be.
But the progress splitting thing was frustrating for me, and I could imagine a lot of other people, because if you weren't aware, and I cannot play Titan to save my life in PvP. So if I accidentally picked up the quest and started it in competitive on my Titan, and then learning that I would have to like restart some portions of that to switch to a main, that kind of happened to me. Hunter's not weak by any means, but I prefer playing Warlock, so I wanted to make the switch. But I had to finish the 300 kills on the Hunter because I didn't want to start that over again.
No, man, that would have been brutal.
That would have been, yeah, absolutely. Because 4,500 plus, you're getting like 4 or 5 primary kills a game, maybe. But I like the system they're going with now. And I think it's really good that you can use whatever loadout and play with whatever team, hit 2100, and just go to QP. And you can get the Pinnacle weapon, you finish it out that way. You're not forced. You're not forced to play in comp, but you are very much encouraged to do it in comp. Like, you are heavily rewarded for doing that. So I like the trade off there. I think it's good because that's what I'm gonna do. Honestly, I'm not gonna do the quest in competitive.
I think the biggest impact we're gonna see is a lot of play of the game. Honestly, I don't know how many people are gonna rely on malicious. Is that what it's called? Malicious Birthright or whatever?
Yeah.
Is it the and Fighting Lion? I don't know how many people are gonna rely on that, or how many people even have it. A Fighting Lion, that is. How many people grinded out a usable role during the Nightfall?
Yeah.
For the militias, I know that I have a pretty decent roll. I fired all of 2 bullets from it and put it in the vault. But I've got one. If I want to attempt to go for this, I've got my way of doing it. It doesn't say that you have a possibility of losing points as well. I think we've seen quests like that in the past where deaths result in losing of progress. There doesn't appear to be anything in here with that. But this is supposed to be the longest one. But there's going to be people who have this day 1, day 2. There's nothing here that's really holding 750 total points, 3 worth for a kill and a quick play.
That'll take a little bit.
I mean, what's 75 divided by 3? 25, 250.
Some number I can't.
250 kills with a grenade launcher.
I think it breaks down to 75 kills in comp. I could be wrong about that, but I think I tried to do the math. I'm really bad at math, so I probably didn't do it right, and that's okay. But it might be 75 kills for the first step in competitive.
How do you earn trajectory medals?
3 kills with a grenade launcher without dying. So, Prospector, by the way, you can pick up 8 shots with a Prospector in PvP. They may have changed that, but I know it used to be that way.
Yeah.
That's not a grenade launcher that people use very often, but it's a power weapon, and it sticks to things, and it burns people. So, I don't know. It could be an option to use. I heard a lot of people saying Colony, but...
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, you're going to see that a lot.
The thing about that, though, is that I thought about that, and I was like, you get 4 shots on pickup. And it takes 2 most of the time, unless you get like a weird bug or somebody's like hurt. But if somebody's at full health, you shoot 2, kills 1 guy, you shoot 2 more, kills another. So you can't just like easy mode get 3 unless you just keep chaining power pickups. And I don't know if they're doing this, but I mean, they've been getting a lot of feedback on power weapon spawn times. I know a lot of people are saying they need to slow that down. So if they change that, then maybe you won't be able to rely on something like a power weapon grenade launcher as much.
It's gonna be hard to get that medal without it being power. Yeah,
I've done it a few times. I've actually been running triple grenade launcher just to try it out. Because I got a really good militias and then Fighting Lion, and I've been running an Edge Transit for the memes because I got a really solid roll on that, and it's funny. It's like comical running around a match. I've been getting teabagged a lot, Because I imagine it's probably pretty
Because
frustrating.
you get the most exotic weapon in the game.
I'm like a walking artillery cannon, just shooting grenades at everybody. But I've got it a few times, the calculated trajectory. It's not as easy as it seems, at least with the current state of grenade launchers. It's still pretty sweaty.
That's it's interesting, man. Yeah, I haven't.
I'm that guy.
I haven't dipped into Crucible for, I think since Iron Banner, since last week. I haven't dipped in because I'm still kind of weirded out by the meta.
I won't play Banner.
I keep saying like, next season I'll play more. I don't know if that's the truth, honestly.
I didn't touch Iron Banner. There was no reason.
Nope.
Yeah.
I say this a lot. The damage calculation that goes on in game causes so many ping issues and latency and delay. It's just not a solidly functioning game mode, and because of that, I tend to stay away. I still see so much lag, and I don't think it's proximity based. I believe it to be the fact that there has to be so many mathematical calculations going on within the background of the game determining what's I just stay away from it. Iron Banner has no, I don't know. What are you going to go for first, Dan?
When I'm probably going to go for the fusion rifle, honestly. If I'm going to go for one, it's going to be the fusion rifle first. After whatever we get with Black Armory comes out, like, we still don't know. There's still a mystery hanging over.
These go live on Tuesday. These
We'll
go live
out in 2 days.
Okay. Well, man.
So these start with the season, so it gives you a week before Black Armory arrives that you'll have to farm for some of these weapons.
But it's also a full curse week, which is also Shattered Throne week.
That's a lot of content. Yeah.
I'm gonna be done. I'm telling you right now, as a bold prediction, I'm gonna be done by Wednesday.
Yeah.
With Shattered Throne solo, I'm gonna mop it up. I'm hoping to finish it on Tuesday, but I'm gonna mop the freaking floor with Shattered Throne. Shattered Throne's gonna wish it never met me. I'm telling you right now.
That's a positive mentality. That's the headspace you just gotta be in, though.
Oh, I've got it. I had it last time it was around. I didn't start my solo run until Friday, and I had only been in the throne twice before. Once was just before I started my solo run, so I was incredibly unfamiliar with everything. And now that I know the majority of what I need to know for the important battles, there's nothing that's going to stop me from doing this at all. Nothing.
Right.
So Tuesday, I'm writing it down. I'm putting it down. I'm putting it out there. I want to be done with it day one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go visit Mara, because apparently you have to go visit Mara for some stuff. Her world is ever changing.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to present that offering to the Oracle and go visit.
I wonder what Tuesday's going to bring for story stuff.
Yeah.
Because 3 weeks ago, or the last full curse, we got Emissary of the Nine that was talking to Mara. Super cool. So
Vidoc, what do you call it? I don't know what you call it.
I believe internally they call it Vidoc, but I will eternally call it Vidoc.
Yeah, it's a way better pronunciation of it.
Yes.
It's like
the worst thing I've ever heard.
Video document, not a video document.
Yeah, I don't know. It's GIF, GIF, the whole thing.
Is Trials announced during our Vidoc?
I don't know. So I saw a tweet earlier. Munch retweeted something, that he saw like a redacted quest step, where it was. I'm gonna link to it in chat here. It was earlier today. I don't want to be a member of the rumor mill, but it seems pretty interesting that there was one from Donnie. I'm gonna drop it in chat here. Donnie Hofer IRL has a shot of his screen. Trials of the Nine quest step. Wait for trials to begin. They run from Friday to Monday each week. It seems it seems legit, but who knows? Who knows? It could be a doctored photo for all we know. With how everybody is so fascinated with Photoshop anymore. But who knows? We could definitely see Trials of the Nine come back. If we see that come back in the Vidoc, I expect that would probably be something toward the end of the Vidoc, because everybody would be waiting for it, right?
Waiting for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Build some hype there.
Yeah, I definitely think that we'll see some of the some of the Chains of the Forge horde mode, or whatever. I think they renamed it. I think we talked about that last week. They renamed it to something else. I think we're going to see a bit of that. Some of the weapons that we'll be getting. One of the shirts that is actually on the Black Friday sale had some information that was about three different tribes of on the shirt itself, on the Black Armory Raglan, selling for $30. It had on there 3 lost cultures from the Golden Age had a hand in forging some of the most amazing weapons that the Guardians have ever seen. Your quest to find them is the perfect occasion for this sleeve chest piece.
Interesting.
So, yeah, that came out prior to the Vidoc. Who knows if we're gonna see anything with that, man?
Oh, the back of it has the 3 symbols on it. Or is it the front? I don't know. One of it has it looks like a fish. Why does it look like a fish?
Yeah, one looks like a fish.
Like
one looks
swans,
like
a flower.
Flower, and the other one looks kind of Vikingish, right?
Like a whale that's having a tough time right now.
It's got heartburn.
Yeah. Whale had too much. What do they eat? Baleen whales.
Plankton.
What is it called? Plankton. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got some indigestion.
Look at the swans. They're trying to eat those swans up there. They don't look like they're paying attention.
See, to me that says Viking ship when I'm looking at it.
I see a whale that looks like it's outside of water right now, trying to find its way back in. It looks like it's a lost whale at the current moment in time.
I see a Telesto.
You got it for the Willy. Oh my God.
You're talking about the one on the top that looks like the one on the top looks like a Viking ship. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the top left.
Yeah,
top
left,
left
coming at you. I see it, like the mast in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all about a bit of perspective.
That's 2 nesting swans, Dan.
2 nesting swans.
Get back on your biology studies.
And a pear tree. So, other than that, I think they're going to announce the 3 lost cultures, and whether Trials of the Nine comes back at the end. We'll just have to see, but that doesn't come out until the 27th, and they've been incredibly tight-lipped about this, including we haven't heard anything about the Dawning either, which is going to be coming this month with this.
I don't even know what the Dawning is.
It's the winter event that happens each year, or has for the past 3 years.
Snow and
yeah, where you get to throw snowballs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Dude. Oh God. Snowballs. For the love of.
It's happening this season, bub.
Festival of the Lost was a pretty solid improvement, though.
Were they part of year 1 snowballs? Were they here for that? I don't remember.
I think I don't know. I'm unsure. I am unsure.
I don't know.
No, I don't know. But there's a lot looking forward to Tuesday. We got a new season coming. We have a Vidoc coming. Everything is right with the world. Do you guys have anything else that we need to talk about today?
How come Bungie doesn't shelf things when they're not good, just like Epic Games does? Instead, they force a grenade launcher down our throats. I'm just not happy.
I picture it as so with big business and little business, right? You're able to move a little bit more quickly. I have a feeling that there's probably a few more levels to Bungie and Activision structure as to what they can do than what Epic Games can do.
No, dude, it's a switch, and little Tommy just has to flick the switch, and all of a sudden it can't be touched anymore. And little Tommy's just not getting the message from Bungie to flick that switch. We don't use sidearms and SMGs anymore either. How come there's not attention brought on that? How come? Oh, we noticed that grenade launchers aren't being used, so here's an exotic version of one that's going to fit in your legendary slot for you guys to.
Do you think that's what the Pinnacle Weapons are?
No.
Possibly.
No.
You don't
No,
think? Okay.
because Desperado, and I forget. I'll credit the math class guys who brought this up. Desperado, which is the exotic perk, or I'm sorry, the perk on Regix's broadsword, maybe even the Claymore, is basically like a glorified. Isn't it just a glorified outlaw? Like really fast reloading and then extra dam and really fast fire rate. There's like they're different versions of they're dumbed down versions of perks essentially, not an actual true exotic perk. Whereas a straight shot firing grenade launcher, which is basically a rocket launcher that has the ability to one shot kill in a primary slot, that sounds like an exotic to me. Like what other weapons are one shot kills that are kinetic? Like
Sniper shotguns.
Right. Right. So is it becoming is a grenade launcher like this? But this is a primary version of that, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
I
confused.
mean, but we've had it's I don't know. It's an adjustment, I think. I don't know. I mean, they've had all of D1 to try to figure out the traditional special weapons. So I'm hoping they fall into a place where they're not frustrating to play against, but they're also usable, so that they can just become a normal part of Destiny's ecosystem of weaponry. I don't think they should just I don't know. I think a lot of it stems from the sweat community. There's a lot of it that stems from the sweat community because the sweat community, like I said, frowns upon different stuff. Sidearms, for instance, in D1 were very, very powerful. And their ammo economy was very different than special weapons at the end of year 3, but people looked down upon using them in sweats because it wasn't considered skillful or it was considered cheesy or whatever.
It was the only hit scan weapon in the game at that point, right?
I think that same mentality though is being applied to grenade launchers in general. And it's got to be frustrating for the developers because in terms of they probably want to create cool new stuff for us to mess around with. And we've all kind of experienced the very boring version of D2 and now we're pushed closer to more chaos. So I don't know, I think it feeds the variety. I'm not entirely against it. I don't think it's
I guess if all grenade launchers were capable of one shot out of the special and kinetic spot, I'd have less of a difficult time with one that on paper is going to one hit kill people. That to me makes it an exotic grenade launcher. So
the other breach loaders, any of this, if it depends on your grenade option. Don't run proximity debt, but you can one hit kill people if you land a direct hit with a grenade launcher right now. It just can't be fighting line because fighting line had its damage tuned down.
And is that a thing about resilience of the person that you're hitting as well? If you have a high resilience guardian, are they gonna survive that blast?
Possibly, maybe. I don't know. I know that if you have spike grenades on any grenade launcher special, like the breach loaders, whether it's an energy or the kinetic, you can get it on malicious birthright. It pushes the damage well over 200 on a direct hit, so it's no matter what, you can kill somebody in one shot. You can do it.
Malicious, actually.
You can do it now. It's just that I think people are seeing basically a little RPG. That's kind of what it's gonna. It's like a missile launcher. It really is.
Right.
That's what they're calling it. So move out of the way.
I want a skin where it looks like the bullet from Mario.
Yeah, bullet
the projectile. Yeah, just comes straight at you, teeth and everything.
Does 1,200 damage, but it moves very, very slowly.
Yes.
I think this is the exact opposite. This is going to do 200 damage and go. They said it very, very fast. We'll see what that means.
Yeah.
That should be the Legend Pinnacle grenade launcher. Should be the bullet from Mario.
Mm-hmm.
It just moves really slow, but it nukes the whole map.
I've been asking for a powerful hand cannon that goes in the power slot for the longest time. It just has one gigantic bullet that it fires.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for 2 weeks now. I just want to see something like that. I also want to see a power bow. Honestly, I want to see a powerful bow that does just absolute pure nuke kind of carnage.
Crossbow would be fun.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. The pinnacle weapon for Crucible is going to be this rocket launcher, but the Not Forgotten is still the topmost one. It's still available through the quest line. That's going to be your legend reward.
Right.
We don't have that for Vanguard and Gambit. I'm trying to see if we can find something similar. I don't consider the Toil and Trouble to be that from last season. No. Personally, there was nothing that I could tell from Gambit.
Yeah.
From the Drifter that even fit that slot. Was there even a weapon? You could buy a weapon if you hit 2 resets, but
Yeah.
right? You bought that grenade launcher that everybody was going after, the tracking and the cluster bombs.
Yeah, the
So
rocket
they could
launcher.
one-hit Riven or whatever. But
yeah.
I'd like to see what they did with Not Forgotten and apply that to the other vendor. Maybe even like per planet, maybe like honestly, because other than going for your triumphs, why are we really going and talking to any of the vendors in the EDZ? Maybe you're hunting for collections items, but there's not really a whole lot coming from them. So perhaps even Pinnacle Weapons for. I mean, if there's one for Mars, I got it because the amount of time I spent over there getting those 40 nodes. I'll tell you right now, it'll be default for me. But it'd be kind of cool to see Pinnacle Weapons from the planets as well.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that system, but the thing about Not Forgotten that makes it very like just straight trophy is that it's very powerful, but it's tied to a very difficult thing that the developers put in front of us.
mm-hmm.
So I want to see the thing about Gambit is like, yeah, you can get a couple resets, but that's more of like a persistence thing. Like you just need to put your nose down and grind it for a period of time.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to like, I want to see like Pinnacle Weapons like Ayres describing in everything on the same level as Not Forgotten, but I do really believe that it should be challenging, very challenging, similar to that. Like if you solo Shattered Throne flawless and you don't die, that would be a very appropriate place for them to put some kind of pinnacle something. Just an example, because like that, but I would do it. I gave up on it already because you get you get some progress in your like book thing or your whatever it's called.
You get the triumph for it. I don't know if you get an emblem or not. There are loot drops that are only the end boss can. I forget what it is. A lot of people for Wayfarer are going crazy for these as well. There's like the sparrow or the ship or the ghost only drops from her, and people are really losing their mind trying to acquire it. But like, you know, if it's not a fast equipped sparrow, people really don't care. If it's not, and I don't know who gives a flying shit about the ships that they fly, really.
It depends on how they look.
Maybe
it's true.
I mean, the only ship I ever got questions about was the one that came from the Whisper of the Worm.
Yeah.
That is the best one.
It's the only one anybody ever asked me, like, yo, where'd you get that? A couple times I've gotten one about the Camel Cricket one I rock right now, but like,
yeah.
And we're talking about a Not Forgotten, and we're talking about a ship. We're talking about two very different,
very wildly different things.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So there should be something there, though. I think there should be something there. Because like a cosmetic item is cool, but it doesn't. There's no game changing effect that it has. It's obviously just right. So I would like to see, like for Petra's Run, for instance, that's something I don't have the motivation to do. That's not exactly like the easiest thing in the world.
No.
So putting some kind of like clear, guaranteed, it's not tied to RNG, but a pinnacle reward, and maybe it doesn't even need to be in the form of like weapons. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, but what if like 3,500 in the Crucible gave you I'm just bouncing ideas off of.
Okay.
I don't know if this is coming, but so don't take my word. But like, all good. Imagine an armor piece. It's the vanity slot. Why can't I remember the name of that? The bond, the cloak, and the mark.
Class item.
Yeah.
Class item. Thank you. So what if there's a class item that comes specifically from reaching Mythic in comp that gives you +2 stats to recovery, resilience, and mobility, and then you can slot in if you want a +1 recov, mobility, resilience, and you get that for reaching 3,500. Just as an example, I'm not saying it's a good idea, but something similar to that, because it's not a weapon per se, so it's not changing everything consistently, but it gives you more options for like customization, and it's like something pinnacle-ish that you can get from doing something difficult. I think
Pinnacle Armor has a place.
Pinnacle Armor, that would be cool. You know? Like specific perks, locked, like curated roles for even armor that comes fully masterworked that you get from doing a thing. There's a lot of opportunity, I think, there.
100%. Yeah, there's a lot for that, man.
We'll see. Next week will be an interesting episode with the Vidoc hitting and what we may or may not even be seeing out of it.
Absolutely.
Black Armory. There's talk about Black Armory not being launched like other Destiny releases, where all the content hits you right away. There's talk of it being a week to week, not necessarily Thunderlord-esque, but certain things being time gated, unavailable,
with it being episodic in nature, almost.
Right. Like so, I'm really, and there's the fact that there's been nothing.
Yeah.
kind of wonder even like, I mean, there's been nothing.
Yeah. Well, instead of the it makes a lot more sense.
If you didn't buy the pass, right? There's no individual purchase for this DLC. It is only playable if you've bought the year pass.
Yeah. For me, it makes sense that it's rolling out if it were to roll out that quickly or that slowly over time, because I feel like the Dreaming City is something that we've seen slowly roll, and each week it's something different, even though it's kind of stuck within the same time constraint, with the curse being the kind of hinge. But if instead of them just dropping all the things all at once, you basically have everything unless we decide to add like a secret thing in here, like Whisper of the Worm was earlier like later on in the summer of this year. Like, to continue to tell a story makes it seem like a much more rich and living world than if you were to just drop everything that you're going to be able to do for that season and be like, all right, go have fun. Because we've had
what
that
even
for
is this
release.
DLC though? Like,
who knows?
Sure, it gives the most information. Like, 3 lost cultures from the Golden Age had a hand in forging some of those amazing weapons the Guardians have ever seen. So, are we going to be branching out? Is it going to be a different culture per character? Is there going to be a direct path that we follow if we want to get 2 swans in a Viking ship, or if we want the whale who's having a bad day? Quest line, we go a different direction. And who the fuck even cares about the forest? Like, we're all about deforestation here, so it's like,
clearly,
do we even go that way? Do we even
you have
talk
to listen
about
to the
that
whole podcast to understand anything he just referenced?
No, absolutely. But
you must be here from the beginning.
Yeah, here's the link in chat for the shirt that shows you the swans in the Viking ship, the whale who's having a bad time in the forest. There's a link in chat for you guys if you're curious about what the hell I'm talking about. Click that link and you'll see the 3 different lost cultures.
I saw something in Reddit earlier today. I don't remember who the user was, but the way that they said it made the most sense, and I think it would upset a couple of people. If it were to roll out this way, someone was like, "Well, what if like we get these weapons, but it's kind of like Curse of Osiris with the probability, like where it's like you do certain events, you get a catalyst or you get the little box for it."
No, if this is tied to public events and strikes, dude, I'm literally deleting Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Deleting it. If I have to go back and redo all this crap that I've... Do you know how many public events I've done for Triumphs?
I'm sure a lot.
Because it tells you in the Triumph.
Yeah.
Do you know how many I've done?
No, how
many? Do you know how many public events I did for Mars to grind these 40 fucking nodes? If I have to go back in and do a fucking public event for a Black Armory weapon 100 million times, turning it heroic while I've got level 20s who just got the game, who don't know to shoot the fucking blights, no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Make me solo Shattered Throne Room 100 times. Fine. I'm not doing public events ever again for endgame activity with Destiny 2. Ever.
Yeah.
That's inexcusable at this point. There's no way they could possibly tie Black Armory to anything remotely resembling the worst DLC in Destiny history, which was Trials of or Curse of Osiris. There's no way they let that happen.
It was just something I saw and
I got a little upset.
Yeah.
You were right.
Yeah, I told you. I said this is probably going to upset some people if it's that way.
No.
Like, the way that they said it, I was like, shit, I hadn't thought about that. But I don't know. Who knows? It could be something completely
adventures
new.
On Mercury. The only way you guys can... Public events on Mercury. The only way you guys can get any Black Armory weapons. Nobody would play the game anymore.
Yeah.
One event every 45 minutes? No.
Yeah.
The consensus in the community has been pretty negative in terms of Curse of Osiris.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we all kind of meme about it. And so I would hope that they would see that wasn't the most, fun thing that we've ever done and stay away from that kind of content in the future.
It's gonna have to be some form of a journey, but I'm hoping that there's quests that tie us into who these lost cultures are, what they did, why they're lost cultures. I mean, are we getting new playing space? Are we getting a new planet, a new moon, a new?
So they've talked about it being bubble spaces. like the like smaller places where we'd go. I without them describing it, without the Vidoc, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It could be that we see smaller, possibly reused sections, like we saw with the Thunderlord quest. Like we saw a little bit of.
I don't have a problem going back to the Cosmodrome at all. I have no issue with that.
I personally do not have an issue with that. But somebody in the community is going to cry foul with Iron Paint. Exactly. Yep.
I mean, would you guys? I'm not that kind of. I don't hate on like recycle. I'm not like on that hatred. But like, would you guys prefer to see brand new spaces that we haven't seen before, versus going back to something like the Cosmodrome? Because it is a nice like.
Whatever it is, I just want it to be good. I just want it to be good.
I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
I want to look at the directory, just to look at the space that it even provides. Like, I just want to see how big the map is and how much more room you even have for anything else to be on there.
Yeah.
And there's really not, and they're not going to, like, we all think Osiris was bad. They're not going to delete Mercury off the director, right?
No.
They just make a tab, like you push right on the D-pad and another page.
Well, I mean, like, so my thought would be there, especially with the word bubble being an operative word in what they've said in the past. I would suspect that it would be something that you would go into, say if it was an additional place on Earth, it would be an additional node somewhere off the map.
Yeah.
That you could click on and go to. That maybe isn't that large. Maybe like is only tied to something you go to once a week or along those lines. And then you'd go out into the rest of the game world to complete the missions for it. But who knows?
I would say that's pretty plausible. That doesn't sound too far-fetched.
Yeah.
You're talking about opening up the world-specific map.
Yeah.
Like going on Earth. Now there's the little nodes that you can go into.
Like on Nessus. How you load into the raid on Nessus.
Nessus is a big planet, man.
Well, yeah, you have the big planet, but then you have the little tiny node down in the bottom right-hand corner for the Leviathan raid. Like, that's where you select to go to the Leviathan. That, to me, when they say bubble, that would make sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I almost want them to create more open world space within each planet.
Yeah.
Give us an area on Titan we've not seen before.
Kind of like what they did with Rise of
only
Iron.
Available within the story mode that we couldn't access during the actual game we've never been back to.
Yeah.
Easy. That would make more sense to me than a node, only because if that place is only playable and only useful for Black Armory, you're basically creating space for 6 months. It's never going to really be used. I mean, unless this is tied to where we actually pick a culture and we really only vibe with that one culture, and we have 3 characters, so we vibe with the 3 cultures to get all the weapons that are involved. You're talking about zero possibility of
returning
back to that space again.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be available for flashpoints.
Yeah.
It's going to be its own separate entity. I don't know. It's really curious that we've seen nothing.
Yeah, from what they've said, it just doesn't sound like it's going to be an extra planet or anything like that. It seems like at most adding on to a map, like an extra play space. But I wouldn't even expect that at this point. So I don't know.
How long is this supposed to hold us over for?
It's supposed to hold us over until Season of the Drifter, which takes place. I forget. I don't have that.
Right? Quarter 1, 2019, typically around March.
Yeah.
So over the time span of about 3 months.
Yeah. About every 3 months, you get a soft drop. A soft drop for your annual pass.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. We'll just have to see. If it's a slow rollout of story that's time gated, fine with it. Honestly, as long as it's good, whatever it is, I'm down. Give that to me.
Has there been any prelude in our current dialogue of the story that indicates anything as to what we're about to walk into?
Who knows?
We should DM Mylan Games.
Yes.
And have him go through the records.
Yeah.
Is Mara gonna tell us anything when we see her on
So
Tuesday?
that would be super cool
Yeah.
if the style of content they're going for is that Forsaken is the main game, and then every one of these soft releases just further augment Forsaken in some way.
Yeah.
That would be
story.
cool, because then if we continuously kept getting more and more stuff about like the Dreaming City, we could. I mean, it's possible. I don't know. Like we could be getting more stuff about that. I feel like that has definitely not been tied up, not even close. Like there's still lore entries we're getting every 3 weeks for like.
Yeah.
the Book
I
of
just
Power.
don't want to keep going seeing Mara solve every 3 weeks up until we fight Savathun. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that at some point there's indication, conversation that leads us somewhere else before we get to that point. But it really
Yeah.
does seem like the way the
gonna be-
Forsaken story is,
Mhm.
we're actually on hold with that story until maybe even next September
Yeah.
when we go in and we battle Savathun and all that nonsense.
There's another thing I saw on Reddit. I'm sorry that I'm not using the usernames, because I can't remember them. I just kind of read it and like flitted off of it. But like someone was talking about Tyra Karn. Like there's a Tyra Karn piece where she talks about the long months that it took us to fight the Red Legion in the war. Basically everybody completed that story. How long did you think the Red War lasted? Like 4 days? That's what I thought. I thought
It seemed like it. I mean,
yeah.
We
beat that in 4 days. If it's the case that like they're stretching it out to be in real time rather than, oh yeah, this is supposed to take months for you. Like this story takes place in this time period and you don't know that. I think I don't know. It's interesting. We'll just have to see. Are you guys ready for some questions? We got 3 on the burner, and then we will do the call signs for us all.
The first one is D. Joel's, by the way, the Telesto one.
Got it.
I didn't put the name in there.
I got it right here. D. Joel, what changes do y'all think should happen to Telesto? I open the floor for conversation.
Oof. That's a rough one. Damage drop off tied to, because the projectiles, they leave the weapon, they stick to surfaces, but there's no damage drop off. So you could literally theoretically fire it from 100 plus meters away, and it will do the same damage that it would have done if you fired it from 5 to 10 meters.
Right.
The individual little crystal bolts, whatever they are. So make the range stat on it matter in terms of damage fall off. So the further away the projectile goes from you, the apex, or you shooting it, the more damage drop off it receives, and it's like exponential. So that it still is doing the same amount of damage, but maybe you have to use it in a very specific distance. So you can't just like on Endless Veil peek across mid and snipe somebody and have it quick, easy, because it's a very low risk like move in terms of, I mean, you could pre-charge, peek a corner, fire, and you can't even be 3-tapped in that amount of time, and you could just shoot a blast. Alternatively, I've seen a lot of people say it needs to be moved back to the heavy slot, but if it gets moved back to the heavy slot, I would say
no one's going to use it.
They would need to substantially buff it to make it worth your while. Like, why would I use that over Wardcliff Coil?
You'd have to increase its blast radius like 20-fold. I think people need to watch what they ask for, because if the Telesto moves to the power slot, it needs to be an absolute monster, like a monster weapon at that point. And in both aspects, because who's going to use it in PvE as well? When I get killed by a Telesto, 95% of the time it's my bad, and 95% of the time it's within range that any fusion rifle would have killed me. It's very rare that I'm getting sniped from across the map with it. It's very rare that I'm walking into bolts that are stuck to something. But I feel like the projectiles shouldn't stick around for as long as they do. I don't know if you noticed, but they're there for a very long time. And I agree. Damage drop off and make the bolts disappear a little bit quicker. And I think the problem is solved. It's still a very powerful gun within its own range.
And I want it to, I mean, I don't want to see like that just nerf culture. Like, it's, some things do probably need at some point, like there's gonna be something that pops up that probably needs to be adjusted, and that's fine. But we had the trend in Destiny 1 of everything was just getting slammed. So I think it's okay to have powerful stuff and just figure out alternative ways to make you use it in a particular way where it's still powerful and not just like, okay, now it does no damage. That's just my preference. I don't
know. The next question comes from Pins Halo. With the reintroduction of LMGs, do you think there will have to be a change in how heavy is handled in Crucible?
You there, Dan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'm making sure.
Sorry, did it do the
doing the one monitor thing? I can read the questions if it makes it easier.
There we go. It's fine. It's all good. Okay. Sorry.
LMG, Thunderlord is the only LMG in the game right now. There's a really good chance we're going to get more in Black Armory. I'm hoping anyway. Some legendary ones. Maybe the BTRD makes its triumphant return.
Nemesis Star.
The Thunderlord, as powerful as it's been in Crucible, really hasn't been as big a pain. I haven't played comp really since it came out, so I can't talk about whether or not it's running the show if somebody just babies power the entire time.
Cliff Coil is everywhere.
Yeah, I would figure at the higher tiers, most people are going to be able to combat an LMG because it's such a clunky. It's not a quick aim down sights kind of weapon. It doesn't really work very well firing from the hip. Honestly, I'm pretty surprised that it fits so well into the Crucible space as is. I don't see a reason personally.
The first day it came out, people were using it a lot because it was brand new. And I think people just wanted to see what its damage model was. It has a lot of kill potential. Its kill potential very high comparatively to other power weapons. But I think it's 5 shots to the head. It might be 4 shots in one body. And you get like 51 shots when you pick up a power brick. So you do the math there, I think, with that could be 10 kills. It's 10 kills potentially.
Right.
Which versus a rocket. But you would have to, you would have to hit every single shot. So it has not become, at least in my experience, I haven't seen Thunderlord past like day 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Ever. Even in quick play. People are not running. I run into it occasionally, but like.
I love in quick play today, but it, again, Yeah.
It's I think the thing about power ammo in general, or heavy, whatever you want to call it, I do think needs to be adjusted in competitive specifically, possibly quick play. Quick play 6v6 is supposed to be pure chaos. That's what the community thrived on in D1 about quick play. So I don't think it's as big of an issue. There is an argument to be made. I have a friend that doesn't like the fact that in quick play, it's power ammo's up and within like 30 seconds. It's like 20 seconds, something like that. It's really quick, the first rotation of it. But in competitive specifically, they need to slow down the amount of power ammo that you get. They really, really do. Because it literally, you can just steamroll. You can pick up Wardcliff, and you can use that pickup to control the next rotation of power ammo, give it to a different teammate, and now you have hard counters to supers, and you have hard counters to locking down zones, getting picks, easy mode. And then the catalyst for Wardcliff, because that is what I see it used a lot. The catalyst for it makes it even better at doing what it already does. So for competitive specifically, yes, I think it needs to be slowed down. It needs to be less of a factor deciding whether or not your team snowballs another team.
I say take it off, but there's no. I mean, if you take power completely out, you're allowing supers to be even more
buff special weapons.
When you factor in Ursa, when you factor in Shards of Galanor, and apparently the exotic tied to the Void Hunter, the blade, the Spectral Blade.
Yep.
Has even more of a chance to be. I think if you get a kill with Spectral with that chest piece, it's 2 minutes.
You can just keep resetting. You refresh you can go for like 2 minutes. It's nuts.
So
I think special weapons though should fill the role of counters to supers. They did in D1. If you land a headshot with a sniper rifle, you should probably be rewarded for that. I don't know. That's just me. And then you should be able to shotgun melee. Because that's
melee supers that doesn't kill it is frustrating.
It's very frustrating. And it's, I think, a part of the reason why Nova Warp specifically is incredibly frustrating for a lot of people is because you can't consistently challenge it with anything besides another Nova Warp, a lucky Blade Barrage, because it's very easy to bait Blade Barrages with it, or you need Wardcliff. And that's, I mean, I guess you could run Tractor Cannon, but that's very high risk. challenging a super with a fusion, a shotgun, a sniper, or even a grenade launcher for that matter is just, you're just asking to be killed.
Yeah.
So those weapons, I feel, should represent the defensive power spike against roaming supers, because you might see some people switch off of them at that point. If you're getting shot in the head a lot in a Striker Titan, like your smash, maybe you go, okay, I'm just going to run Thunder Crash then because I keep getting sniped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a little bit of thought process that goes into that, and that's what I would like to see. I think specials should represent that.
Yeah. Raindance26 asks, thoughts on the lack of diversity for in-game content in the energy slot? I find myself having a hard time not using the EP shotgun.
The Escalation Protocol shotgun is an example of a legendary weapon that has an exotic perk.
Yep.
It's an exotic weapon.
Trench barrel.
Yep.
And it's going to be hard to unseat something like that, especially when it comes to PvE, especially. But
yeah,
there are certain encounters, especially if you're in the Shattered Throne Room, where having the EP shotgun's not going to do you one damn bit of good.
Nope.
Bungie's done a pretty decent job of making it so that while it's a very powerful weapon, it's situational at best. It's useful for the raid for quite a few encounters, but you're not going to be taking out Riven.
No.
And you best not be trying to survive when you're doing the relay race with the heart.
Yeah.
Trying to shotgun ads in that one room. So while it's incredibly powerful for a lot of the end game content, it's going to be unseated for some other selections or not used in like you might run the shotgun for Morgith, but you'll see people who do the Whisper the Worm strat sake of, or even Thunderlord.
Yeah,
Thunderlord is incredibly fun to use against Morgith.
Thunderlord is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
And I think it comes down to, in terms of PvP, that there's so many more shotguns that are better choices than the EP shotty, the Ikola shotgun.
Definitely,
absolutely. Yeah. It's especially in those encounters, like you said, that you need more distance on. Like there's
no way I could. I mean, I could try to solo the Shattered Throne with a shotgun, but I guarantee you, Vorgith is gonna. What am I gonna do against the Axions at that point?
Yeah.
Like
triple shotgun challenge or
triple shotgun challenge. I'd like to see some. Like I'd like to see Chevy, like some of the Redeem guys, give that a shot. Maybe some of the Be Bold people. That's outside of my skill set.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy using the EP shotgun immensely, and it doesn't leave my characters. Like I move.
No,
it
it's
in between
always on the character. Yeah,
it's always on the character, but I don't know. It just depends on what you're feeling that day. Like I use Subtle Calamity a lot, but then again, I'm a bow guy. I love using Subtle Calamity, especially my role with Dragonfly on it, and that leads me to use that for that specific slot a lot of times. And so if I'm not going for massive DPS up close, it's all on how you feel and how you play overall. I
mean, Luna's Howl is an energy weapon.
Yeah.
And my new loadout in Crucible is Supremacy, Luna's, and then whatever Wardcliff Glow right now because I'm trying to get the Catalyst. But
right.
Even for PvE, Luna's is Magnificent Howl is very, very strong. That's a lot of damage you can push out with a primary.
So.
I use that in the raid, the final encounter of the raid. Just throwing it out forgotten, and you can map the Eye of Riven, and you don't have to worry about drop mag. I hate drop mag. Can't stand it. That's the only thing I don't like about Lunas. I hate that perk.
I constantly reload. Yeah, I constantly reload.
That's good too. It's not. It's a Pinnacle weapon that is designed for Crucible, but it works like incredibly well for PvE.
Yeah,
a lot of people are calling for something that takes that unseats the EP shotgun, but I just feel like there's a lot of encounters where the Escalation Protocol shotgun is not a viable option.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want it to still be special.
Yeah.
I mean, you want things to be good. You don't want to get rid of them, but
Trench Barrel is one of the greatest perks that Bungie's ever come up with.
As you see the seasons roll on, especially as we get more weapons added to the loot pool, that we'll see something eventually unseat the EP shotty, because it's still like a season. It's a year one weapon. It can't take new mods. Like
true.
You're going to have to. They're going to have to mature the system more with weapons that can combat that for DPS damage, but with the with that mod slot available as well. So I can see that very, very much so.
We'll see what Black Armory brings in terms of shotguns.
Yeah.
It's a trench barrel on it's the whisper of the worm of shotguns is what it is.
Pretty much,
essentially.
Yeah.
I don't find myself using Whisper that much since Thunderlord came out.
It's just fun. It's just fun for me to snipe, especially since I just got the catalyst. Like I like if I don't know. I need it for the Shattered Throne, so I'm gonna be rocking it, but
yeah.
It's just been fun.
Puff Maggie asks, since the season of No Trials is over, what are you guys' thoughts on when Trials may come back and how crucial it'll be for it to come back? Because we've heard nothing from Bungie. We kind of answered this a little bit last week with Damn It to Hell and TBL and NIM. A lot of the idea of if it came back as Trials originally, like the original Trials of Osiris, where it's like 3v3, where maybe you're matching opponents that are on their 4th, 5th, or 6th like win streak as when you're on that same kind of like level. That feels like it's more a level playing field than possibly having like a grind structure such as like comp or quick play added into it.
Yeah.
It needs its own vendor with unique rewards. It
does.
Needs to be 3v3, not 4v4. It needs to
Correct.
be only. There needs to be mercy. Boons would be a really good idea.
They could build them in.
Have a reward that is worth the grind, because nothing
Pinnacle.
from Trials of the Nine was really worth having. And when you take a look, like if there was a weapon that was worth having, we'd still be using it. People would still be going. So there needs to be a messenger or a Doctrine of Passing, or what was the last one that was like the gun to get the last year it was available, the 3rd season. I don't remember. There was a weapon that was available in the 3rd season that was a really good weapon. There was reason enough to go for it. There were perks on the armor that were specific to Trials. Like, I just make it its own thing. Offer it on the weekend just like you did before, so that people have something to grind for during the week with comp, and then people have something to work towards during the weekend with Trials. And I gotta just say, like, business is open for content creators and flawless runs and all the heartfelt good stories of kids and whatnot that we're gonna hear about going to the lighthouse and stuff. Like, make it. You had something that was so very special and something that really held the game, like kept the game alive for like a year. You know, it needs to be that again, and it wasn't that in Destiny 2 year 1. So they did something that was very smart, and they shelved it. Get rid of Countdown, or not Countdown. Get rid of Survival.
I mean, just get rid of Countdown. Could we just get rid of Countdown?
Like, I don't.
I can't stand Countdown. Can we just get rid of it?
I don't. I have a lot of really fond memories. For somebody who's like not a super competitive Destiny player, I have a lot of really positive memories with Trials of Osiris that I really want to see brought back. And I liked watching a lot of the videos and hearing a lot of the stories of people helping each other go flawless and being the community that we are. It's going to breed some toxicity. It's going to bring some GG just played you big fan.
Yeah.
But the ultimate good that came of it was far more than any of that stupid nonsense that came with it. Please just you took something that wasn't broke and you fixed it.
Yeah.
The weapon system in Destiny 1 was broken, with Icebreaker and sidearms being able to circumvent special weapon economy. Well, they kind of fixed that with Destiny 2. Let us have our 2 shots of sniper, our 2 shots of shotguns, and outplay each other. I'm just hoping.
3v3, probably elimination. I would say those are staples. I personally like connection-based matchmaking overall, because I think first and foremost, like Trials, I don't think should be branded. This is just an opinion, because we have a competitive playlist with a ranking system that matches you based on rank. It's appropriate for that playlist, because it keeps. Oh man, my voice keeps cracking. Oof.
It's okay. It just sound like Nem from last week.
But I think it needs to be very, very deliberately separated from the competitive playlist, because Destiny 2's original Trials of the Nine was identical to the comp playlist. It was Countdown and Survival, and it rotated every weekend. And I think that was frustrating, because it was like, I'm just playing comp.
Right.
I could just go into the comp playlist and have a similar experience. So that kind of sucked. So definitely 3v3, because I think 3v3 game modes are very good and popular for Destiny as a franchise. I think people like 3v3 and D1. And connection-based matchmaking, just personally for me, because the first and foremost thing that I think should be the most important is connection quality in a match. It's very frustrating to get into a laggy game, and there it is again. Dang, I should stop talking.
It's all good.
What's going on around here? Oof. Puberty's hard, but it's connection quality should be definitely a big thing. Reward system that keeps people coming back needs to exist.
Yeah.
Pinnacle Weapon for trials probably needs to exist.
100%.
I think just for me, that would be cool.
If Trials of whatever shows up this season, I don't think a lot of people will be upset about it. There's a lot to do if you are just a person who plays Crucible, if you're somebody that makes content for Crucible. The Pinnacle Weapons have kind of been a boon for you guys, for you, Nojja, for Joe Rated, for Rhythm, for others in the community. I could only see Trials helping to bolster it would help to boost the Destiny directory on the weekends.
Absolutely.
I don't know. As from a content side, from where I normally see things, the sooner it comes back and good, the better. I personally.
It certainly brings a lot of people together. And I think for what's important for me and like Joe Rated and Rhythm is that it gives people the opportunity to bring people together, play with those people, but then also provide a positive experience with it, and not the standard. I mean, because like the toxicity is very easy, especially in something like comp. So we try very hard to like give people a good experience where we're just laughing the whole time and joking, and we're like sweating and it gets intense, but it never gets toxic. So it gives content creators a big opportunity to like provide a good community and sense of just buddies playing games, you know?
Heck yeah. Leading from the front a little bit there. Outside of that, I think that's all the questions, guys.
We got one more, if that's okay.
One more? Go for it, man.
Raindance asks, thoughts on the current state of scout rifles and auto rifles?
Oh. They need something. They need just a little bit of an oomph when it comes to how they hit, because I've tried several scout rifles this season specifically that are new, and just can't find one that I like. In a lot of ways, bows replace scouts for me.
I can't even name, like outside of the Mida multi-tool, I can't even tell you the name of a scout rifle. Oh no, because I got it like 17 times my first raid. The Transfiguration is the only other one I can possibly name.
Yeah.
But there's nothing notable about them. They're not in a good spot. They're underused. It's possible that might be something the Bungie's looking at, is tuning to a Pinnacle weapon, and scouts aren't being used in Crucible or PvE activities for that matter. Nowhere near Vision of Confluence being such a crucial weapon.
Right.
Even the one that came from Crota was a sleeper. Honestly, it was a Mac truck. I forget what it was called. The Fang of your Ute, maybe.
Yeah.
That was a monster of a scout rifle. Most people didn't pay much attention to because Fatebringer occupied the same spot, but there's none of that at all right now.
Yeah.
And with flinch being what it is on sniper rifles, imagine if you had scout rifles doing anything like that, would knock you basically into the next map.
Yeah.
Getting hit by one that was good. Auto rifles are going to change with the next DLC. You're going to see the breakneck set the bar for auto rifles in the future, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think scout rifles have a good damage model, especially 200 RPMs like Mida. You can 3-tap with the Jade Rabbit again. That like 150 RPM archetype. I think their damage models rely very heavily on precision, but then again, maybe that's not a bad thing so much because it's a precision weapon, so maybe it should. But the maps, I think, are a part of the problem. I put a scout rifle on for Equinox because it's a larger map. It works on there because you have opportunities to lane people a little bit. Like Mida is good. But like I think a part of the issue is the overall sandbox meta. Most people are either running a Luna or Not Forgotten, and then they have a shotgun because shotguns just work. So that pairing of weapons makes you play much, much closer to your opponent than we would otherwise. So a scout rifle just isn't reasonable because of your loadout selection. Most people are kind of playing pretty aggressive, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And scout rifles don't really have a big place in a meta where the strongest weapons are aggressive, almost CQC.
Yeah.
Because my shotgun covers close range, and then Not Forgotten covers like the medium, and that's where I play.
Yeah,
just right about there.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, I wish something comes along. I want them to get a little bit of boost here and there. We'll see what comes in future seasons. I think that's about all that we have time for this evening. So folks in chat, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We're going to tell you where we can find you around the internet, starting with Aura. Aura, where can we find you, guy?
Twitch.tv/Aura. You guys can find me on Tuesday taking on the Shattered Throne solo. You can watch me at 3 p.m. Eastern time while I go in there and I fucking obliterate that place. You know what? I'm going to make up words because that's what I'm going to do. Because fuck the Shattered Throne. Twitch.tv/Aura. You can also find me on Twitter, twitter.com/evilaura, 3VIL_AURA. There will be so many clips of me shitting all over the Shattered Throne room on that Twitter, so make sure you follow it there too. It's be very vile, I promise.
Oh, excellent. Nojja, where can people find you?
I am findable at twitch.tv/NOJJA_BenBlast, BENBLAST. And the same exact handle on Twitter. I'm not like super active on the weekends. I'm usually taking a break on Sunday and Monday, but throughout the week, I have been helping people do comp stuff, which usually starts around 10 PST and ends like 6 PST on average. So you can find me there, shooting the mans.
Excellent. And you can find me on twitch.tv/Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter under the handle Danfinity, but the I's are L's. Great SEO there. Danfinity. T.
Got it.
Outside of that, you can find reruns of Side Quest Sunday on any podcast platform. They're all really good, and I suggest you listen to them. Outside of that, that'll be all for us here on Planet Destiny this week. We'll see you next week, and have a good one, Guardians.
Peace.